Hello and welcome to the fifth lecture on the history of modern India, the beginning of Ayodhya crisis. The event, which was probably politically motivated, turned into a burning issue which was to last for decades. 10 months after the Supreme Court handed down its verdict in the Shah Bano case, a judgment by a lower court provoked a controversy more furious still. On 1st February 1986, the district judge of the town of Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh ordered that the locks to be opened to permit worship at a small Hindu shrine. Despite its modest size, this was a rather special place. It was located inside a large mosque built as far back as the 16th century by a general of the Mughal Emperor Babur. Moreover, it was claimed that the site was the birthplace of Hindu deity Ram, and that before the mosque was built, it had been home to a temple devoted to his worship. There is no evidence that the hero of the epic Ramayana was a historical character, but Hindu sentiment and myth widely held that he was and that he had been born in Ayodhya, at the very spot where the mosque was later built. The site was known locally as Ram Janmabhoomi, literally the piece of earth where Ram was born. Through the 19th century, there were a series of clashes between rival groups claiming possession of the place. The British rulers then effected a compromise, whereby Muslims continued to worship inside the mosque, while Hindus made offerings on a raised platform outside. 2 years after India became independent in 1947, an official sympathetic to Hindu interests allowed an idol of the child Ram to be placed inside the mosque. This was done under the cover of darkness, and devotees were persuaded that it had appeared miraculously, a sign that the displaced deity wanted to reclaim his birthplace. Fresh tensions broke out, diffused only by an order allowing the worship of Ram on a single day in December. For the rest of the year, the idol was kept locked away from worshippers. For 3 decades, the status quo held until, in the early 80s, an organization named the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, meaning World Hindu Council, began campaigning for the liberation of the spot where Ram was born. The VHP brought under one banner hundreds of monks from numerous old temples that dotted Ayodhya. Processions and public meetings were organized, where fiery speeches were made urging Hindus to free their gods from a Muslim jail. A local lawyer then filed a suit seeking public worship of Ram idol. It was in response to this appeal that the district judge ruled that the locks be opened and worship allowed. The judge's order was widely believed to have been dictated from Delhi, from the Prime Minister's office. The local administration seemed to know of the judgment beforehand. The locks were opened within an hour of the verdict. Remarkably, even the national TV channel was at hand to capture on camera the precise moment when devotees rushed into the newly opened shrine. There appeared to be a strong connection between the Muslim Women's Bill and the Ayodhya verdict. It was said that Rajiv Gandhi opened the locks on the advice of his colleague Arun Nehru, who thought the Congress now needed to compensate the chauvinists on the other side. The opening of the locks emboldened the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. They now sought nothing less than the demolition of the mosque. and its replacement with a grand new temple dedicated to Ram. The VHP was working closely with Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha, the older Hindu organization, which was enjoying a fresh lease of life. The RSS and VHP held meetings across the India, demanding that the majority stand up for their rights. The Muslim Women's Bill was adduced as yet another example of the Congress government seeking to placate the minority. It was alleged that only Hindus were asked to disown their faith in this mistakenly secular state. A new slogan was coined and broadcasted, "Garv se kaho, hum Hindu hai." Say with pride that you are Hindu. The growing Hindu consolidation was immeasurably helped by two contingent events. In September 1987, a young woman named Roop Kunwar committed ritual suicide in a village in Rajasthan following her husband's death. Although sanctioned by Hindu tradition, sati had long been banned by the law. Rallies were held hailing Roop Kunwar as an exemplar of Hindu womanhood in her devotion to her husband's memory. The other and more significant event was the telecast on Doordarshan of a new spectacular production of the Ramayana. With an estimated 80 million viewers, city streets and marketplaces were empty on Sunday mornings. Events advertised for Sundays were careful to mention to be held after Ramayana. Crowds gathered around every wayside television set. Hotels, hospitals, and factories reported large-scale absenteeism on Sunday mornings. As much as the number of viewers, it is the intensity of their experience that merits attention. Muslims watched it with pleasure and enchantment, while churches rescheduled their services so as to avoid a clash. While Muslims and Christians watched the Ramayana for entertainment alone, for many Hindus, delight was also mixed with devotion. By accident, rather than design, the televised epic was introducing subtle changes in this pluralistic and decentralized religion, long divided into sects, each worshipping different deities, lacking a holy book, a unique and singular God, or a single capital of faith. The Ramayana serial had been commissioned by state television independent of the happenings in Ayodhya. In the event, its appeal and influence contributed enormously to the VHP's movement to liberate the birthplace of Ram. Hindu religion is a religion that was decentralized like no other. It was the Ayodhya controversy that opened up the possibilities of bringing these far-flung traditions together into a unified movement. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad had formed a Dharam Sansad or faith council composed of the major dharmacharyas or leaders of Hindu sects. On the other side, the threats to the old mosque in Ayodhya had mobilized Muslim opinion in its defense. A Babri Masjid Action Committee was formed, which urged the state to prevent this and other Muslim shrines from being taken over by radical Hindus. The climax of this event was to happen in 1992, resulting in the demolition of Babri Masjid. In our next video, we will discuss the challenges faced by Rajiv Gandhi, mostly in the later half of his prime ministership. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and comment because discussion is solution. For more discussions, please subscribe our channel.